Have you ever wondered who Jesus really is? I mean, we all know he's the Son of God, but what does that actually mean? Is he just divine, or is he truly God? Even among Catholics, there's more confusion than you might think about the divine nature of Jesus. Today we're going to dive deep into one of the most profound passages in the entire Bible, John 1:1-18. This passage is packed with deep theological truth. But don't worry, we're going to break it down together from a Catholic perspective. Let's begin by reading the passage. John chapter 1, verses 1-18. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came to be through him, and without him nothing came to be. What came to be through him was life, and this life was the light of the human race. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. A man named John was sent from God. He came for testimony, to testify to the light, so that all might believe through him. He was not the light, but came to testify to the light. The true light, which enlightens everyone, was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world came to be through him, but the world did not know him. He came to what was his own, but his own people did not accept him. But to those who did accept him, he gave power to become children of God. To those who believe in his name, who were born not by natural generation, nor by human choice, nor by a man's decision, but of God. And the Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. And we saw his glory. The glory is of the Father's only Son, full of grace and truth. John testified to him and cried out, saying, "This was he of whom I said, 'The one who is coming after me ranks ahead of me, because he existed before me.' From his fullness we have all received grace in place of grace, because while the law was given through Moses, grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God. The only Son, God, who's at the Father's side, has revealed him." Welcome back to the channel, where we explore Scripture and Catholic teachings to deepen our faith. All right, let's break this down. This passage is often called the Prologue of John's Gospel, and honestly, it's one of the most beautiful and theologically rich sections in all of Scripture. It sets the stage for everything we believe as Catholics about Jesus. First off, in the beginning was the Word. Sound familiar? It should, because it's an echo of Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. John is telling us that Jesus, the Word, has always existed. He wasn't created, he is eternal. And not only was he with God, he was God. This is one of the clearest statements of Jesus' divinity in the Bible. He's not just a prophet or a great moral teacher, he is God himself. That's huge. Then John tells us, "And the Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us." This is the incarnation, God becoming man. Think about that for a second. The infinite, all-powerful creator of the universe chose to take on human nature. He didn't just appear as a man. He fully entered into our humanity, our struggles, our sufferings, everything. That's how much he loves us. Now, there's something very interesting in that phrase, "made his dwelling among us." In the original Greek, the word used for dwelling is literally pitched his tent, which is a direct reference to the Old Testament tabernacle. Just like God's presence dwelled with the Israelites in the tabernacle, now he dwells with us in Jesus. And as Catholics, we believe he still dwells with us in the Eucharist. Pretty amazing, right? John also talks about how he came to what was his own, but his own people did not accept him. This is heartbreaking. The Jewish people were waiting for the Messiah, and when he finally arrived, many didn't recognize him. And honestly, isn't that still true today? How many people reject Jesus, ignore him, or treat him like he doesn't matter? Even we as Catholics can sometimes take him for granted. But John gives us hope. Those who do accept him, who believe in his name, are given the power to become children of God. That's our identity. We are sons and daughters of God. So, what does all of this mean for us today? First, it means that Jesus is not just an idea, a historical figure, or a religious symbol. He is alive, he is real, and he wants a relationship with you. Second, it reminds us of the power of the Eucharist. If the Word became flesh 2,000 years ago and dwelt among us, he still does today in the Blessed Sacrament. When we receive the Eucharist, we are literally receiving the same Jesus that John is talking about here. That's mind-blowing. And finally, it's a call to recognize Jesus in our daily lives. Are we rejecting him in any way? Are we truly living as children of God? I encourage you to take some time today to reflect on this passage. Maybe read it again slowly, pray with it, and if you can, go to Eucharistic adoration and just sit with Jesus. Let him speak to your heart. Before we wrap up, if this video helped you understand John's Gospel a little better, be sure to like and subscribe so we can keep growing together in faith. And let me know in the comments, what stood out to you most from this passage? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and may God bless you abundantly. See you in the next video.